You're up.
Okay, this lesson is going to be about polynomial operations. Okay, the first is just adding polynomial operations. And okay, for example, this is the equation, and you have to add the like terms. So it'd be easiest to line them up vertically. So I'm just going to go underneath this one. It'd be 2x squared minus 7x minus 9. And you just have to add them, and you can only add the like terms, so that of course this would be 7x squared, and then you'd have to subtract that, so that it would be negative x, and then minus 12 would be the only thing on that one. Okay, on this example, since there was no x cubed on that one, we just wrote in 0x, because when you go to add them, it's easier to line up like terms so you don't get confused. So I'll do this to negative 2. So it's easier to just line them up so you don't get confused. Like if we were to just put minus 4 right here, you could have tried to add it right there. So this would be negative 10x cubed minus 14x squared plus 2x minus 5. Any questions? Okay. And then subtracting is basically the same thing, but because when you line it, when I do it, when you go to write it underneath, I would take I would just switch the sign, so I'd make that positive and this would be positive, and that would make these two negative. So it's just easier, it's like you're adding instead of trying to subtract. So this would be, you could do a plus and then 6x squared minus 7x minus 4 it's because it's easier to add negatives than try and subtract them. So it would be 9x squared minus 5x plus 1. Okay, so. And then this is just another example. I mean, it's pretty simple. So yeah.
Right. With graphing, I chose to do subtraction. So it means you're going to take this equation line and this one, and you combine them. And so when you take this one and this one, you subtract the numbers, just like she just said. And so you're just combining them to get this final one. And because they are where they are, like you combine these numbers to get the point that's there, because you're subtracting the big one. And then with multiplying, you would just distribute. So this one, it's easier. Squared. It's negative 2x to the third. You just multiply them like normal numbers. So you get negative 10x to the, because you just add those because you just multiply them because they're exponents. And then this one is the same, except for because there's more polynomials on that side, you would distribute the negative 3 to each of them. So negative 12x to the third plus 3x, that's really small. 3x squared minus 30x. Not, yeah. Because you did the negative 3 times the 4x squared times the negative x times the 10. And then this one, you would FOIL it. So it's the same thing as distributing, but you do it twice. So you do the x to the x, and the x to the 2, and then the 3 to the x, and then the 3 to the 2. That's the first outside, inner, last. You get x squared plus 2x plus 3x plus 6, and then you combine like terms to get x squared plus 5x plus x.
Dividing polynomials. There's two possible ways. One is synthetic division, where you make a little L shape, you put the opposite of what this is. So I'm dividing x plus 2. So you put right here a negative 2. You put the opposite. And so this is a negative 3. So you put a negative 3 first and bring it down. Yeah. Yeah, okay. And then the multiply, you'll bring this 4 down. You put this 4 right here, you multiply this by this to get a 6. And then you'll add it to get a 10. Then you'll bring the 9 down. You'll multiply this by this to get negative 20. We'll add that to get negative 11. Wait, did that one? Yep. I should have put it in order. Okay, so restarting, get the little L shape, negative 2. You're gonna put the 2 here first because that's the 4th power. You're gonna bring the 2 down.
Moving on.
What? No, I wasn't done.
I know you weren't going to get it right.
Oh, I have it right.
They won't get it right.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. I have it right. I have it right. It's right here.
Do that
What? I have it right. And the second one is long division. You'll multiply, so you'll find out what you need to multiply to get this, which would be x squared. So you get 3x squared. Then you multiply this by this to get plus x squared. And then you'll take the opposite of it, which will be 3x cubed minus 5x squared minus 3x cubed minus x squared to get what's left over from these two, which is negative 6x squared. And you'll find out we need to multiply 3x by to get negative 6x squared, which will be 2x. So left over, you'll get negative 6x squared. You multiply this by this to get, to bring the 10x down. And then to get minus 2x, and then you take the opposite sign of each. And you get 12x. You bring the negative 3 down. Multiply 4 to get 12x. Multiply the 4 by the 1 to get plus 4. You'll take the opposite, which you'll have negative 7 left over. And then you'll put minus 7 over 3x plus 1. That's it.
All right. There we go.